get it the right way up, James. I'm close to the camera. No, anyway, welcome to the introduction of part twaz of the mini quad repair. New parts are in, which you can probably see. I don't know till I watch this footage. And it is the correct pull start, basically. Let's show you. I have actually ordered a wireless microphone to go on my other GoPro, the one I do my vlogs and shit on, so I can set up a static camera and talk to you via a wireless microphone, because the other one broke. So pull starts here, it's the correct one, and what have you. So I've just put the flywheel back on. I haven't bolted it down because there's a story there, but just a little word of advice: if you are tempted to repair one of these pull starts and all that lot, and it's this style with a shroud that goes over the cylinder head, lots of hand gestures, don't run the engine without this shroud on, because what happens is your flywheel is also a fan, and as the engine's running, it basically blows air up into this shroud, and then it directs it over the cooling fins of the cylinder head. So if you don't run a shroud, I know people that start these things with drills and shit like that, and they don't use a pull start and they take this off. Well, when you do that, look, juiciness revealed. That was tasty. Basically what happens here is this just flings air everywhere and not where it's supposed to go. It cools the coil and it cools the cylinder head. So never ever run an air-cooled engine that has a shroud without the shroud. It's there for a reason. If you've laid your quad up, your mini bike or anything like that over the winter, take that off, because our cheese-eating friends may have made a little nest, and if they make a nest, they've just blocked all the cooling. That happens a lot to lawnmowers and shit. So pull starts here, but I've put, come on you bloody magnet bastard. Oh, there's the Woodruff key just effed off on holiday. Here we are, we'll get him. I am trying to, at the moment, excuse the mess, drill a bolt out in the middle, because obviously the flywheels are bolted on. Somebody has grilled the bolt, broke the head off, and now the threads are all stuck inside the crank. Now the problem that I'm having is the crank is Chinesium and the bolt is extra Chinesium, and drilling it out is not going all that well. So I'm going to persevere on it, but if I need to, what I can do is, if I have to, don't worry about all this oil around this seal. This seal isn't leaking. I've been putting WD-40 to aid cutting, and we'll either get there in the end or we'll F it completely. Nearly swore then. I nearly said fuck. So the other option is I'm going to Loctite the flywheel on, because it's a taper fit, it shouldn't move anyway. But yeah, so I'm going to persevere on that, and just because the parts are here, I'm not just going to slap it back together, because it's not my motorcycle. And then the two-stroke is here, and I bought the cheapest litre of two-stroke I could on eBay, and it was still a tenner. What the fuck has happened to the price of two-stroke oil and tyres and shit like that? It's gone through the fucking roof, especially since cunty Labour have been in power. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. So that's where we are. So this is Thursday afternoon. I've just finished work. I've just come in, noticed some parcels and thought, you jolly good. So that's where I'm at in the minute. I've got to find some. Actually, I don't have to find bolts. I've got bolts in the shed, because it was this top part that was missing, not a dead pad, so I can use the bolts. So yeah, that's cool. We've got the bolts, so I can concentrate when I've got time to continue getting that bolt out, and then we will crack on with Project Quadricycle. Yes.
Day 2.
Well, hello. I'm sorry if you're getting the noise of the fan, but it's cold in here. This is my third attempt to film this section. This is day 2, it's Friday, of working on the little, I think it's a 49cc 2-stroke quad engine. This is a generic engine. You can buy them off eBay brand new for like 50 quid. But the pull start come the other day, as I've shown on the vid, and it's all bolted down now, and it does work. Yeah, didn't believe me, did you? So I've also gone online and looked at what mixture ratio the fuel needs, and I think they said it was 40 to 1. I will look it up again. 40 to 1, which means for every litre of petrol there's 25 millilitres or something of 2-stroke oil. And then you give it a good shake and put it in the bike. You don't put the oil in, then put the fuel in and shake it about, because it won't work. The oil sinks to the bottom. So I'm going to find a little litre bottle, shake some up, clean up the frame tomorrow, Saturday, hopefully tomorrow, certainly over the weekend. We'll clean the frame up, get the engine back in, get the transmission chain lubricated, make sure that runs. When I'm happy with how this runs, I will then address the brakes and stuff like that. But the brakes and the brakes, at least, will be a separate video. Hopefully by the end of this video we'll hear this little bugger bark off. That's the goal. The carburettor is fine, it's spotless, no need to go any deeper into that, but what I do have to do is to tighten up the manifold bolts, so I'll just give them a little nip. Oh, I didn't mean little nip as in little Japanese man, I meant a little nip as in nip them up. So, you raise the snow, father. It's just that the farm takes up most of my time. These don't have to be super, super tight. Of course, when the air cleaner's on and stuff, you can't get to them. So that's tight enough, that ain't going anywhere. They're tight enough, float bowls, etc. They ain't going anywhere. And what I did, I put a pass-through bolt, so it's an Allen head, so it will look the same as the rest of the truss, the quadrus four-wheeler, and I've put a nylon knot on the other end, so because the threads in the Chinesian cast alloy bits were starting to strip out, and rather than strip them out, they are still sort of there. I put a pass-through bolt with a nylon knot on the other end, and then we know it ain't going anywhere. So yeah, that is pretty much now ready to fit, and then we've just got the 2 wires to attach back onto the loom. That's about it. That's about it. It can go in as is, lube the chain, etc., as I've already said, and I'm repeating myself. Jimmy, repeating yourself, thank you very much. Oh, just as a side note, here is all the internals for Phyllis's top end. Phyllis, unfortunately, due to financial constraints, is seriously got to go on the back burner, which is fine, because I would sooner, over the winter, go through the Aprilia, go through Olive, and probably repaint the exhaust, because the paint that I used, obviously I wrote it in the salt this year, and just the bottom of the exhaust is starting to corrode, and I'd like to wire wheel them, repaint them. I'd like to put a tyre on it. I'm even considering replacing the rear wheel, because I just don't like the condition of it, and it does go taut most of the time. I even thought about replacing the spoked wheels with some later Strada cast wheels. That might be a plan for the future. I don't know. But for now, we'll just concentrate on getting this little bastard to run. So, GoPro, stop recording.
Day 3.
Oh, well, hello. I'm using the wireless microphone, so you're the other end of the shed. I'm the other end of the shed, the opposite, well done Jim, opposite end of the shed. And my task today is I'm just going to brush down the mud and stuff off the chassis and stick the engine back in, which is actually over here. Turn around every now and again, you get a little engine on the back of the bike. It will never be a hit. So yes, the Olive is being a bench at the moment. So anyway, let's try and get what we're trying to do in focus. I've had the heat on for about an hour, so it's not too bad in here. Yeah, that should be in frame. Right. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm just going to give, all this is dried mud on here, but what I'm going to do, one of my favourite cleaning products, and it cleans everything, pretty much degreases and does it all, is foaming glass cleaner. And if I just put a bit of this on the old framulation, it will pretty much dissolve a lot of the shite that's on it. I don't want to go too mad, because the goal today is to get the engine in and see if the little bugger will run. So I'm just going to let that soak in for a second, and then what I'm going to do is get shaky cam out, and as I'm talking to you here, I'm going to show you some stuff that I'm talking about with shaky cam, and then put it picture in picture sort of thing. It's not going to work very well. Anyway, here we go. Let's get a little bit of raggage and wipe this plate. And then hopefully, no, you won't be able to see it 'cause it's shit light. That is the plate that's on it. As you can see, CE mark 2014, etc, etc. Twin brakes of diskage on the front, which need freeing up a little. Now I don't know whether it's the cable, which just requires lubrication, but it's more like a pivot requires lubrication. And how it works, there's a piston in there. I think it's a sliding style. I've not really looked at them, but I think it's a sliding style, a bit like a single piston caliper on a motorbike. When you pull the cable, it pulls this lever up, and there is like a little cam in here which will like push like a pad or something like that against it. It's a very, very simple design, but it works. Right, so just giving it a wipe. So that's it. It's twin disc. We need to sort of straighten out a mud guard, because these things get bashed about. Shaky cam. Oh. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Just giving it a quick wipe. So what I'll do, when I start to get the engine back in again, I will bring you back, and the next time you see this, it should have its engine in. That's the plan anyway. GoPro, stop recording. Right, it's actually been quite difficult to get a decent angle on this. I'm still not sure you're there. Let's just have a look at the screen. You probably want pointing up a bit. Hopefully you can sort of see what I'm doing. But what I've done now, I've dropped the bolt out of the rear shock, lowered the swing arm, and that just gives me enough room to wangle the engine in and hopefully get the chain on the sprocket as I'm doing it. The problem that I've got at the minute is that you are on a tripod, and it's unless I take spurt out, I don't know whether you're going to get a good view. I am going to be in the way of the camera, naturally, and I can't see that screen very well, but hopefully that's the quad in picture. Nice. So, the engine, I think, I kind of pulled it out this way before, but there's a little bracket here which might just get in the way. Yeah, met me a bloody liar. So, there we go. It's going to be there-ish. Probably go over a bit. I think it does need to go over. Hopefully it won't fall off the bench. It's not secured very well, but I don't think it will go anywhere. Let's see if I can grab the chain. Grab the chain. Chain goes there. Right, that's okay. I wanted to get it on the front sprocket before I position the engine, because it's going to be easy enough to slip it over the back sprocket and we'll just line the chain up. I haven't lubricated it yet, but yeah, hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do. See if we can get the chain. That's it, change on the back sprocket now. Beautiful. Or it says it's as on as it's going to get, let's put it that way. But what I can do now is, no I can't, because I've just blocked access. The bolt for the rear shock is on the bench over there, and I can't get past. One moment, please. As Big Clive would say. GoPro, stop recording. Tuck in the old bollocks. Right. Yes, I am going to be in the way of the camera, aren't I? But as you can see, I don't have a lot of room at the minute, so you're just going to have to bear with me. And the bear's name is Nigel. So what I'm doing now, I'm just picking up the swing arm. I'm just trying to get the bolt through, just to hold it. I'm not going to bolt anything down at the minute. But there we go. And then now we can move the engine to somewhere sort of where it needs to be. And what I'm looking for is, there's obviously bolt holes on the bottom, and I'm trying to get the bolt holes aligned, but it's really difficult to see at the minute, because how I actually took the engine out was I stood it up, so it was resting on its like back wheels and the rear subframe. I may have to do that. I may just have to finagle it so I can get the engine in properly, because I haven't got any space to work under the engine at the minute unless I move all this. Oh, it's heavier than what it looks. It's moving the workbench. And the workbench is on the foot, you cunt. Right. You knew I was going to swear at some point. Right. Oh, I'm bloody knackered now. Right, so the alignment holes are not aligning, and we don't know why. Why isn't that lining up? This is interesting. Right, I'm going to have to turn you off, get this off the workbench, break my balls, and turn you back on again, because none of the holes there are lining up at the moment, and I don't know why. Maybe we're sitting on a bit of wire or a cable or something like that that's just putting it off. But I want to have a look properly. So, GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so what we're doing is, I will do this on shaky camera as well. Hopefully you can sort of see the area, hand gestures, what I'm trying to do. The chain is on the sprockets, but what I need to do is add this small bracket onto the top of the engine here, and then it bolts through there. That's going to sort of put the engine roughly where it needs to be, and I can then get underneath and put in the 4 bolts which secure the bottom of the engine, and we should then be alright to like muck it about a bit. Nice. So let's get on with that then. So there's the bracket, lovely. There's the bolt, there's another bolt. Oh yes, there's another bolt. So I'm just going through the bolt inventory at the moment. Right. And hopefully I've got the right key of Allen to do this. I have. Brilliant. We're just going to loosely tighten everything up now, just so we can position it. Do you know what? I may well have jumped the gun a little bit then, because by the looks of it, that bracket possibly went behind that, because the witness mark on the bracket, I don't know, no, we might be right, I just don't understand why it's not fitting at the moment when it came out. Yeah, let's just get a bolt through that. Have we got a nut? I think that one was it. I think this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because those 2 are exhaust. So I'm just talking to myself and trying to take inventory at the same time. Which, you know, might be jumping the gun a little bit. I know you can't see behind here, but I'm a touching nut. And then what I might have to do is just upend the trike. Jimmy, stop calling it a trike. Upend it, just so I can have a look to see where the bottom holes are. I knew you weren't going to be an 8mm, but that's on enough. That is on enough to give us a clue. So, time to upend the trike. Hopefully, it's not a comedic comedy of errors in which the engine falls out. Oh, God, he's heavy. Oh, it's lovely to be fit. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know how much of this I'm going to edit. This tripod is actually in the way all the time. So this is where we're looking, this mount plate here. And what we need to do is to get the engine sitting somewhere around here. Now why won't it go across? Okay, that's good. That's good. GoPro, stop recording. knowing what, there is still something stopping this engine moving, and it is doing my head in. Because that now, it should be pretty free to move. The airbox isn't touching this bottom rail. Is it just me failing to understand basic physics or what? What I'm going to do is take this bracket off, and we'll put this on afterwards, because I've got a funny feeling the bracket may go behind, not in front. I can't remember, and I'm not sure if I filmed it, so if we take it off, we can suss it out later. But the bracket definitely goes there, but I've got a funny feeling it goes behind, this plate goes behind it, and it's just going to waste so much time to go and watch the footage. Sometimes you have to, if it's been a few days since you've worked on something and what have you, sometimes it's just best to look back and have a look. Right, we'll see if we've got any more movement in the engine here. Heavy fuck. Right. I am not understanding something. Right, well, it's slacking the chain, so it's not the chain. Okay. GoPro stop recording. So yeah, this bracket, sure enough, does go behind that one. So the engine's in, it's all bolted in, and then this should slide behind there with a little chunk, because I have actually tightened the bottom bolt, which was an idiotic schoolboy error. But yeah, that'll line up, so that's no problem. And Uncle Bernard appears to be plinking on an organ or something next door. I have had to stop filming so far 4 times. Oh, fuck's sake, is that it again? So I just want to make a video. So that's it. The brackets are on. I've had to restart the recording. Tell you what, sometimes this voice control is not worth the effort, because if you say certain words, it will pick up on them and it will do things you don't want it to. Which it has just done several times, and it is extremely annoying. But I find this make of camera extremely annoying anyway, because even though I'm here doing all this, the chances of a lot of it being captured are not good. Okay, good. And now, this is somewhere we have a social slide. There we go. This is, that's clean. That's the throttle slide. You can see it's got the cutout for the idle screw, which is this side. So when we put it in, I could do a little bit on shaky cam. Where did I put that? Yes. I wish he'd fucking shut up today. So when we put it in, the groove is down like that. It will engage, and then we just screw the top on. And then we just screw the top on. we have throttle. Excellent. Right, what are we doing next? I'm just going to nip that on with the spanner, and then we'll see about, we'll put the wires back, we'll mix up some premix, and then we'll probably attempt to start. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.
Okay, so the hardest job so far was routing the exhaust. I could not, for the life of the little baby Jesus, figure out how the frigging hell it went back on. It's been in, out, shake it, all about. But we're there now. So right, I can bolt the rear shock back in again. Yes.
Okay, so it's time to get the exhaust bolted on. Not forgetting the jasket. Correct pronunciation. I wonder what Kyla Minogue's up to now. She's probably thinking of me. I'm having to do a lot of this by feel, and also this owes me blood. Yes, yes. We won't begrudge it too much. I'm now taking bets on how many pulls it's going to take to start it, because I am pretty confident that it will start, which will probably be hopelessly misplaced later. Lovely. Right. Where did I put my rests? There's where I put my rests. One exhaust tightened up. Right. We can flip her back, hand gestures, flip her back down, do up the rear exhaust bolt, and we can think about chucking some fuel oleum in. Obviously, we've got to reconnect the wiring, ignition barrel, make sure the wires are nowhere near the exhaust, etc., which will be interesting with the ignition barrel because it literally sits right next to the exhaust. We could always relocate the ignition barrel somewhere else, it doesn't matter. So, right, I'm going to upend the bastard. GoPro, stop recording.
Thank you. A couple of cable ties just to get that out of the way for now. I'm not happy how close that wire is to the exhaust. There's not a lot I can do about that at the moment. I might be ready to squirt some fuel oleum in. GoPro, stop recording.
One eternity later.
Okay, back on the shaky cam because I can't be arsed to knob around with the other GoPro, which is the other side of the shed. Anyway, I cheated a little bit. I give it some test pulls before I was going to film the probable start. It ran and then almost immediately stopped and wouldn't run again. Now, it's probably in the frame. I don't know to look at the footage, but the problem would be rather obvious. On the floor was the woodruff key, and there's a bit of broken fin, which I'm presuming is off this little fella here. Yes, look. So anyway, question answered. We've definitely got to drill the rest of that bolt out and put another one in, which is no biggie. You know, it's easy enough to remove the engine after all. But yeah, that's moved enough to spit the woodruff out. Nice. Right, I've just had to walk away from it a second because I'm managing to start to round the Allen bolt off that holds this case on. Don't really want to damage this case, so what I am going to do, I am stopping this video now, but I have had it running. I know there's no video proof, but I have had it running. So yeah, next stage is I'm going to whip the engine out again because it's only 5 bolts, and then we'll sort this flywheel out properly, or do I just cut my losses, buy a brand new engine for 50 quid and use that one as spares. That could be the right way to go. I don't know. I'm going to have a think about it. Bleep bloop bleep down in the comments what you think I should do, apart from give up, obviously.